I'll be honest with you, I may have made a stupid purchase.
I'm gonna have to call Blake.
Oh, it's Gavin. Hey, what's up, dude? How are you?
Blake, listen, mate. We need to relaunch Make Great Shots immediately.
Bro, you look like you just deleted your entire Lightroom catalog. Is everything okay?
You know I don't use Lightroom. That's completely ridiculous. But no, it's worse than that. I've made a purchase.
Oh no, man. Not another drone.
No, not a drone. It's actually much worse. I bought that 400 to 800 millimeter telephoto. It's massive.
Let me guess. Credit card?
Maxed out.
That's bad.
Yeah, if we don't relaunch this course, I might have to resort to shooting weddings.
Or worse.
What's worse than that?
Boudoir.
Oh, God, no.
So let me get this straight, Gavin. You want to relaunch our course, Make Great Shots, because you made a financially catastrophic decision.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine, I guess. How about we relaunch for 1 week?
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, thanks, Blake. It's really going to help.
No problem, Gavin. I'll just shift aside everything that I was doing, and I'll put this on sale right now. But can you put a link in the description of this video? And I have to ask you one question.
What?
Does Amanda know about this purchase?
Yeah, of course she does, yeah.
What have you done?
I've got to go, Blake. Bye.
That guy. Always something.
There's a link to Make Great Shots in the description below. Good news, love. I got you a new lens.
Today's landscape photography adventure takes us to PEI, also known as Prince Edward Island, via the 8-mile-long Confederation Bridge. Now, never mind about Anne of Green Gables. First thing you do on PEI is you grab a pasty at the Hand Pie Company.
Is it warm?
Yeah,
Yeah, looks good.
yeah. It's Cornish pasty.
You happy now? Smells good.
It was, but just to be healthy, I chased that down with a cookie, and that was Tres Mendes too. Now, this video is not sponsored, but I told them I was Thomas Heaton, and I did get a free coffee, which was also good.
All right, so we've driven, I think, about 6 hours to make it to the very northwest tip of Prince Edward Island. And I think we've made it just in time, because if you look at that, you can see the sun is just about to set. I think we've maybe got 15, 20 minutes.
I think we have an hour.
Do you think?
Yeah.
That wasn't very dramatic, was it? So as far as I'm aware, Prince Edward Island, PEI as it's referred to by Canadians, I think it's famous for potatoes, Anne of Green Gables, oh, and a very long bridge. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to come here today is because on this beach, apparently, there's a really cool sea stack with an arch in it, a sea arch. You know me, I love sea arches. So we're going to go on the hunt for this, and if I'm lucky, I could try and square something up before the sun sets. But I'm not too upset if I don't get that, because the reason why I came specifically today is in the morning there's supposed to be mist and then a bit of sun and cloud, so I might get a fantastic sunrise if such a shot might even work. But I think we'll go over in this direction, love.
It didn't take long to find the sea stack, or should I call it a nubbin. As usual, it was almost too late as the sun was setting, so I got busy trying to find somewhere to plonk my camera.
Well, this is quite impressive, actually. Quite a gorgeous little scene. Look at all this business. And there's the setting sun right over there. Won't quite line up with going through the arch, but I'll take it. So this is right down on the deck. The tide's coming in, I think. But I think if the tide goes out, have a look at this. So I'm stood on this little ledge about 2 feet from the water. But I reckon when the tide goes out, I should be able to get in there and stand in all of that so that I could shoot up towards the arch, perhaps. Or I could just go up on that cliff up there and shoot down. Pretty cool, isn't it? Oh, you're gathering rocks?
Yeah.
Does it have healing properties?
I'll let you know in a minute.
Yeah, there's seals out there. Right, I think I'll go back up the hill and see how this looks from above, looking down. But so far, quite interesting.
You know, most people probably think that it's quite strange for me to drive a 10-hour round trip just to go and take pictures of a knobbly rock. But for me, as a landscape photographer, there's nothing else I'd rather be doing.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool, is that? So a few years ago, when I first started doing my research about the Maritimes, when we first started thinking about moving to the Maritimes, I looked at PEI and there were quite a few epic locations on the coast. So that was kind of like a big decision in coming here, because I love seascapes and I knew there'd be a wealth of them. Well, within that first year, they were gone. We had that hurricane and just wiped out a whole bunch of coastal majesticness, and I was devastated. So this is one of the few ones that are left. And obviously, I mean, look at this. This is somewhere that suffers from a lot of erosion. This little arrangement won't be here for much longer, so I might as well shoot it while I can. Just a shame about these absolute atrocities that you could see in the distance there. All right, so from up above, looking down, it's not great. It's a much less imposing and impressive structure. And maybe I could get a drone down there and get the perfect height, but I'd really rather get it with my proper camera. So, challenging. This is a puzzle that I've got to solve. And I don't know. It might not work, but I'm going to come back in the morning and see if I can get a shot. Now, there is a chance that all of those clouds, we'll call them clouds because I don't want to get jailed for a thought crime. There is a chance that all of that might light up for sunset, or maybe even better, like 25 minutes, 35 minutes after sunset. That might be quite epic. And then I'll get back down on the deck. But as I said, I think the tide is coming in, so I don't know if that's going to be possible. Anyway, I'm going to wander the coast a little bit more and just see if there's anything else that I can put in my frame.
But when I got back down on the deck, things were looking really quite tasty.
It's really quite something. And I feel like if there was something going on in the sky right there, just a couple of clouds with this lovely foreground that you can see down here, these gentle waves lapping against these rocks, and the way that the light's hitting it, that would be a fantastic shot. But as always, that's where the clouds are right now. So, you know, I don't know if I'm going to get a shot, but I'll try and frame something up. I mean, look at the way that the light's hitting these rocks here in the foreground. That is really quite majestic. And I've probably got 3 minutes, so I should just shut up and see if I can actually frame up a shot. And then I can relax for a bit, waiting for that afterglow to pop off. All right, 2 minutes. So I've managed to find a composition that I think might work. The light is actually quite nice right now, but the tide isn't playing ball. So I don't know if this is going to work with what I've got, but I think I've got maybe another 20 minutes before the afterglow finishes. But I'll show you what I'm thinking, and you'll see where my mind's going with this. So first of all, I'll just show you what it is that I'm looking at. So I'm looking at these pinnacles here. You can see that lovely light behind it. I love these little holes that you can see. And then the water is just lapping up on the beach here in front of me. So what I've tried to do is kind of frame it all up so that it fits into one frame. Now, if I angle this around here, You can't see it on the camera right now because it's so underexposed, but look at all this detail that I'm picking up here. Well, I will pick up when I expose properly. So that can fill basically the right half of my frame there, and then the left half of my frame is filled with the afterglow. So I think I'm going to try that. And if I get a little bit more wave action here, just in this water that you could see, that might actually be a really sort of nice foreground. And every now and then, every few minutes, I don't know what's creating it, but a big wave comes in and creates a bit of action. So this actually might turn out pretty good. And if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world, because I'm still pretty excited about what tomorrow might bring. Anyway, I think what I'll do is that I'll grab the tripod and try and frame up this shot and just be ready in case the afterglow pops.
I thought that this was the peak of the afterglow, but I'm delighted to say that I was actually quite wrong.
Well, this shot is actually not too bad. The light's quite nice right now. It's really kicking off in that afterglow, and I don't really have the time to compose the kind of shot that I want. I wish as always, I wish I'd got it 2 or 3 hours earlier, but it's not bad. So if this shot turns out to be slightly mediocre, here's the shot. Well, that was pretty nice. Turned out quite spectacular. As always, the clouds just weren't in the right spot, but I'll take those shots. Not bad for my very first visit, I would say. But what a beautiful spot this is. I could get into this, but I think right now it is now steak o'clock, and Amanda's over there in the camper, hopefully cooking up a storm. What you got cooking? Good looking.
Same as always whenever we're in here.
Steak.
Yeah.
Steak o'clock, like I said.
There's no better than a home-cooked meal in our home from home.
Right, so we'll wolf this down, get to bed, early night, and then the plan is to be up at 5 a.m. so I can have my coffee and then get back out on the trail when it's supposed to be misty.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Good.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Good night.
Now, I'd love to tell you that I got a good night's sleep, but you know the drill.
Well, it's 8:30 a.m. I've had 4 minutes of sleep, and I do have a face like a waterlogged crepe, and I'm not very happy because I missed the sunrise. Basically up the entire night, and then about 1 hour from sunrise I fell asleep. Always works like that. So yeah, I've missed sunrise, but on the plus side, there's some nice, beautiful clouds out there. So I'm going to finish this bitumen and then get out there to that sea stack and see if I can find a shot with some nice cloudage. How's your night, love?
Well, when you don't sleep, I don't sleep.
I'm gonna make a suggestion now, and I know this is sacrilegious, but I think it's time to start drinking decaf.
I agree. For you, I can sleep. I think you need some decaf.
Ugh.
Well, that's not decaf. Enjoy it.
I will. At last coffee.
So, in my state of complete exhaustion, I got back out on the beach just to see what I could find.
Look at these old little shells covered in lichen. Subscribe. Like and subscribe. No? Alright, onwards.
The morning tide was so much better, and I was feeling optimistic that I might get a good shot, even though I got out of bed 2 hours late.
Oh, look at that. Actually getting a nice bit of light coming into the arch right now, so that might actually be quite nice. But one tip I can give you, if you're into seascape photography and you want to try and predict water levels, obviously you want to look at tide guides, but the tide guides are kind of useless until you've been to a location first, just to get a baseline, because if you've never been to a location and you look at a tide guide and it says, oh, at sunrise, tide will be 1.2 meters. What does that mean? You don't know what that means in terms of how the water interacts with the scene. So you've got to go somewhere and just get a baseline and then make a note. When you get there and you see where the tide is, look it up at that time and then make a note of what that tide is. And then you can see in the future when you're looking at your tide guide, oh, anything above 2 meters is just going to be crap, or anything below a certain point is what I'm after. That's what I do anyway. Oh, hello, love.
So even though the light wasn't spectacular right now, I was quite pleased with the tide and what it revealed as foreground elements.
I kind of like this shot that I've got here, but the light's a bit whatever. I mean, we've got some interesting clouds up there and quite a lot of light on the stack here, but it's not overly exciting. It's all right. I'm just going to consider this a test shot. So I've just tried to put some foreground in front of the stack there. And what I like about these two rocks, I mean, the shapes of the rocks are not particularly interesting, but what I do love, as you can see here, are all the limpets that are stuck to it, just minding their own business, marking out their real estate. So to me, that's quite an interesting foreground. And if I can get some little bit of wave action, which you're just seeing right now, slight reflexion of those clouds, just adds a bit of interest. But I think this comp would have been really good if I'd done this last night. But of course, the tide wouldn't allow for that. This was completely covered in water. So I would say low tide at this location is definitely more productive. No, they're not currently waterlogged in seawater. Boat stench.
Amanda would definitely suffer boot stench later that day, but I was having a great time.
Okay, so now here's a really obvious landscape photography tip. Well, maybe it's not that obvious. It's obvious to me now, after well over a decade of doing this for a living, and that is that shooting sunrise or sunset and the direction that you're facing is, for most shots, completely irrelevant. I used to be under this belief that if I wanted a good sunrise shot, I'd have to be shooting towards the sun. Same with a sunset, shooting towards the sunset. So I'd pay attention to the direction of the sun and where I needed to be to capture that sun. But over the years, I've realized it doesn't matter at all because, for example, right now, the sun is over there. It's pretty much behind me. And I'm shooting in the opposite direction. But look at this. I've got all of this lovely light and these really interesting clouds behind it in the opposite direction to where the sun is. So if I wanted to obsess over where the sun was and trying to shoot towards it, I would miss out on so many shots, because quite often I'll be at a location, doesn't even matter where the sun is. Let's say it's a sunset. Wherever the sun is, the sky is lighting up in a completely unpredictable direction and the clouds are popping off. And as I've said over the years, I've just learned that it just doesn't matter where the sun is. The clouds could be popping off anywhere. So you might as well just show up and compose your shot for the most interesting subject, the most interesting shape, the most interesting story, and then hope that the light works with that. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I tell you what would work with this: storm light. If I could come back here on a stormy day with moody clouds, maybe rainbows, shafts of light and some crashing waves, then I'd get a shot. I just don't know if this thing will still be standing when that happens. All right, I've climbed back into the spot where I'm basically behind the arch, as you can see there, and I've found an absolutely killer composition, which again could work for sunrise, could work for sunset. but it really depends on the tide. Like the tide, my feet are getting a little bit wet right now, but it's just about all right. I'd say the tide's pretty much perfect for this shot. Chances of it being perfect during a good blush of sunrise sunset light where the clouds might light up, not very good. But the bonus that I've got right now is look at this side light that's coming in here. This is absolutely gorgeous, but this is going to be tricky. It's going to be really tricky. Let me show you what I'm struggling with here. So essentially what I'm trying to do is a 3-shot panorama, which basically puts that part of the arch in the middle of the frame, but has a lot of this rock wall that's off to the side as a nice framing element. So we kind of start here and then pan through to that. Now imagine that with some, well, basically those clouds that I had last night during that sunset. This would be fantastic, but the problem is where I'm standing right now, this was completely underwater. I guess I could do it. I just have to get some serious boot stench going, and I don't think Amanda would appreciate that, but that might be what I have to do. I might have to spend another night here and be prepared for this shot tonight. But anyway, I'm going to finish this test shot. Remember, it's a test shot, not an epic shot, because the light's just not there. But if this test shot turns out to be okay, here's the shot.
So after this 3-shot panorama, I thought I'd try something a little bit different. So what's different, you might ask? Well, instead of doing the obligatory focus stack, I deliberately went for shallow depth of field to get a blurry foreground. And I actually really like it.
Well, I think that is as good as the light's going to get for the immediately foreseeable. So I'm going to head back to the camper for second coffee and breakfast, get some interwebs, check the weather, and then make a decision as to what to do with the rest of the day. Should I stay or should I go? Oh, hello, love.
But then we heard the sounds of sea life.
We've decided to go and get a closer look at those cheeky sea lions that are frolicking over there. Actually, I think they're just sunbathing, because I think the water's really shallow and they're probably just beached, just enjoying some sun. So I've got the bazooka, the big guns, which I haven't really featured in any videos because I haven't had call to use it. So any excuse. And maybe I'll do a review or just sort of give you my opinion at some point when I feel like I've got enough experience with it. But let's take it out, see if we can see what these cheeky little frolickers are doing.
Now remember, I was trying to pass this off as Amanda's lens, so she got first dibs. But oh no, it looks as if that new lens might just be a little bit too heavy for Amanda to hold. That's a shame, isn't it?
I think they're watching us.
Eh? Oh, they've noticed. Don't look at them, Brian. Not directly. Whatever what? You do. Don't what that. Oh, don't tourists over there. Look away. That's it. Well, I'm curious though. Just have a look. Just look away, Brian. Just a side glance. No. Oh, all right. Probably had snacks for us.
I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters shown here. You really do make it possible for me to keep this channel going. And if anyone's interested in my monthly critique sessions on Patreon, there's a link in the description if you're interested.